Hello there. Thanks for watching my views and news. Three news stories. Firstly, special operation has been conducted against a Fano group in the Amhara region. Several heavy vehicles have been recovered, generators, excavators, weapons recovered in this special operation. Secondly, Nairobi, Kenya, where Kenyans again back on the streets against the president, the government march to the state house is the slogan today. Police firing tear gas. Lastly, viewers, I told you yesterday that the Sudanese refugees in Ethiopia in Olala forest area were planning to march back towards Sudan from Ethiopia. They were due to start this march this morning, Thursday morning. It seems the march kicked off. Poor Sudanese refugees, women, children, elderly will walk for hours to reach the border. Will they be allowed to return to their country? Videos are being shared showing the return of these poor Sudanese who suffered a lot in Ethiopia. Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian military has released a statement about a special operation conducted against a Fano group in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. By the way, some Fano groups have been seen with heavy machinery building roads. We saw that in Shoa, in Gujum, in other parts of the Amhara region too. It was as if they were the government there. They were building roads, they were clearing roads. A special operation was conducted against such a Fano group, which was in possession of some heavy vehicles. The operation was launched in North Gujum zone to the south of Bahirdar, Amhara regional capital. Military is trying to conduct regular combing operations around Bahirdar. Military wants to protect Bahirdar. That is why and Fano in the past have been able to penetrate Bahirdar. That is why military now regularly conducts such combing operations in the vicinity of Bahirdar so that people in Bahirdar, so that Fano fighters around Bahirdar are not able to reach close to the regional capital. In this operation, at least 11 heavy vehicles were recovered by the Ethiopian military. Pictures have been shown showing some trailers, excavators, other vehicles which are used to transport fuel or gas. All are heavy vehicles worth millions of Ethiopian birrs reportedly. The military, in a statement, said that these vehicles were the properties of people, and Fano groups snatched these vehicles from people. They were using the vehicles by force. That is why military took action. Weapons have also been recovered from the area. Military has released pictures of some AK-47 and the vehicles released. Generators were also recovered by the military. So this Fano group was in control of such a convoy of vehicles which were being used for different activities in North Gojam zone of the Amhara region. Secondly, viewers, Kenya, where protests still ongoing. I think Bangladesh protests are giving new hopes to protesters in Kenya. Though protests in Kenya, I think, started before the unrest in Bangladesh. But in Bangladesh, people were able to storm the Prime Minister's palace. Sheikh Hasina Wajid, the Prime Minister, had to flee the country, and Nobel laureate, economist Yunus is going to be the Prime Minister there for interim period. Election will be held then. Kenyans protested against when they started the protest. They started this protest about a new tax regulation, The tax law was not implemented. Ruto refused to sign it after massive public protests. Then people criticized Ruto government's inefficiency and state expenditure. Ruto dismissed entire cabinet. A new cabinet has been formed, which is being called a broad-based cabinet with participation of some opposition parties too, reportedly. Even that cabinet is not acceptable. Protesters now want to remove the government, remove William Ruto, who was democratically elected in an election. Protesters have been making calls for a new way of protests. It started this morning. So right now, when I'm recording this video in Nairobi, Kenya, police is firing stun grenades, tear gas. Aerial firing is also being reported. Hundreds are trying to march towards State Palace. Today's slogan of this protest is March to State Palace. Occupy State Palace, like we saw in Bangladesh. So Bangladesh model is inspiring other activists and protesters across the world. This time, I think Kenyan government is not going to show restraint. Kenyan government is taking action. It won't allow the protests to go out of control. I believe. Let's see. Ruto has given several concessions. Yes, he's got weak politically in the past 1 month or so, but protesters, they just keep on increasing their demands. They wanted just cancellation of one law, then they wanted uh, to disband the cabinet, new cabinet. Now they want to remove the government. Let's see. Lastly, we have Sudanese refugees in Ethiopia have started their journey back to their country around 2000. Started their march from Aulala forest in the Amhara region toward Sudan Ethiopia border. More than 30,000 Sudanese refugees entered Ethiopia from Sudan since the start of war in Sudan last year. Most of the refugees entered the Amhara region. Some entered Benishangul region of Ethiopia too. But when they entered the Amhara region, which is already destabilized because of fighting with Fano military, they came under attacks. Their camps came under attacks. Some were killed, some were injured in these attacks too. UN Refugee Agency, Ethiopia Refugee Agency, both confirmed attacks on Sudanese refugee camps. At one time, Sudanese military raised this issue, asked Ethiopian government to protect Sudanese people in Ethiopia. Ethiopian government replied that it did not have enough resources, but it was trying to protect the people of Sudan who were no refugees in Ethiopia. Ethiopian government announced the relocation of refugees from Olala and Komer camps to a new place called Iftat camp. But the Sudan refugees in Olala forest refused to be relocated to Iftat camp. They said that Iftat is also in a very fragile area where there is fragile security situation. They said they would like to go back to their country. They did not go to the new camp in Iftat. So this morning, uh, hundreds of Sudanese refugees from Olala forest started their march towards Sudan Ethiopia border, towards Matimma. I think they want to return to their country. That remains to be seen if they'll be allowed to cross the border or not. But march is underway for hours. The people will have to walk on foot. There are no vehicles to take them to the border because they're marching on their own. The government is not telling them to march. They say that they don't want to be in Ethiopia, marching on their own on foot. Maybe they'll have to walk for more than a day to reach the border. Thanks for watching.